Okay guys and girls, we are in the home stretch of this video series, and I'm going to try and make it as brief as possible. So let's recap on what I went over in part 1 and 2. In part 1, I touched on this is my opinion and theory about these two species. And in part 2, I laid down some facts and opinions to support my theory as it pertains to their color patterns. Here in part 3, the final chapter, I'm going to present to you further support and evidence as it involves their body structure and characteristics. In addition, I'm going to tell you what I think overall about this subject and why it's so important to me. Before we do that, let's take a commercial break and return to our regular scheduled program. Wait a minute, what's this? Just in, breaking news. Antoine has shared some new evidence that I didn't even think of. Facebook. Check this out. Apparently, some hobbyists or breeders are now taking Jags mixed with Dovii cichlids to red snooks to produce a more convincing knockoff red Morph Dovii cichlid version, with a heavier, wider mouth region to look more pyrochromous instead of the much narrower red snook face feature. Speaking of facial features and body structure, let's talk a little bit about that. Dovies and red snooks have very different body structure. Dovies have a longer, thicker body with a wider, rounder mouth region. The red snook, on the other hand, have a longer, thinner body with a more narrow, protruding mouth region. So why do some of these knockoff version red Morph Dovii body structures look like something in between the two? I'll tell you why. Because they are just that, a knockoff hybrid. Okay, let's talk a little bit about why I decided to make this video series. But first, let me say this. I am not an expert as it pertains to red Morph Dovies, but I am an expert at recognizing consistent traits and characteristics in fish. I also understand history and would like for it not to repeat itself like it did with so many other cichlid species. For example, the red devil and Midas cichlid, the Trimex cichlid, and many more. So tell me, when is enough enough? When do we start thinking about preserving these awesome cichlids? That's the real hard truth. And with that said, this is Skip. I'm out.